This is what I learned from watching Hayao Miyazaki films. This is going to be a short video. I acknowledge that Hayao Miyazaki is a brilliant filmmaker, but I also realize that I don't really enjoy his films. So I'm just gonna quickly share what I've learned by watching his films. This past week I have watched a bunch of Hayao Miyazaki films in the hopes to learn something about filmmaking. And one thing became very clear: Hayao Miyazaki has a talent for visual storytelling. There is a very obvious example in the beginning of the film of Princess Mononoke.
Girls!
Ashitaka!
There's something strange going on. You have to hurry. The wise woman wants everybody back to the village at once.
We just came from Jisan.
Did he see something?
Yes, in the forest. Something's wrong.
The birds have all gone.
And the animals, too.
I'll go to the watchtower and check with Jisan. Now you three hurry back home and be quick about it.
All right. Be careful!
The scene sets up an upcoming threat. The wise woman clearly knows that something is wrong in the forest. The film doesn't say how she knows that, but as it turns out, she is right. A boar guard that turned into a demon is attacking the village. When Ashitaka defends his village, he gets infected by a curse. When he defeated the demon, the wise woman shows up. She acts like a sort of priest or a witch, who has a great understanding of spirits. It visually explains to us that the wise woman is somewhat magical, a clairvoyant if you will. It is in the way she acts, the way she looks and the way she speaks. It shows us that she has some paranormal abilities, even if that wasn't made clear immediately. She doesn't use any kind of magic, but that would have made it super clear. You can also interpret her as someone who is very in tune with nature. That is seen in how she speaks to the boar guard.
O nameless god of rage and hate, I bow before you. A mound will be raised and funeral rites performed on this ground where you have fallen. Pass on in peace and bear us no hatred.
Or in the way she uses stones to get a sense of her visions.
I'm afraid this is very bad. The stones tell me the boar god came from far to the west. He had some kind of a poison inside him, driving him mad. A poisonous hatred that consumed his heart and flesh and turned him into a demon monster.
How do you make a monk comes off as a shady person? Make him excited about a piece of gold.
My God! But this is a lump of pure gold, you silly woman. However, if it's money you want, I'll pay for the rice and take this nugget off your hands. What do you say? My good people! Is there a money changer who could tell us how much this is worth? No? All right. Now, I'm just a monk, but I'd say 3 bags of rice at least. That's right, maybe even more. Hey, wait a minute.
Turns out that this person is an opportunist posing as a monk. The demon infection that Ashitaka has is slowly killing him. By the way the arm reacts, the film shows us that the curse is getting worse. Now this one is easy. How do you immediately establish who is the leader of the group? You make her stand out. The first scene in which Lady Eboshi was introduced also establishes her as the antagonist. Of course, it becomes more clearer later on in the film as to why she is the villain. She also stands out by being taller than most of her people in the mining town. Another obvious observation. But the film also tells us that she is the leader and that she is someone who others look up to. Okay, a bit more of an example. When you look at a scene like this from Spirited Away, what does Hayao Miyazaki establish with this scene? For me, it tells us about their spirit world. They still have things like a job and responsibilities. Basically, with a scene like this, Miyazaki is describing the world where the characters live in. I read in an interview that Hayao Miyazaki likes to use this concept called ma, which means emptiness. These are small moments in which the characters don't do anything for the most part. John Lasseter described those moments as sighing, looking down the stream, or just doing anything. My interpretation of that is that Hayao Miyazaki does that to give the characters some realism, to make them feel alive I guess, to make them believable as characters. These moments also give a sense of the world in which the story takes place. So yeah, show don't tell. I think a bigger Hayao Miyazaki fan can go more in depth with this idea. I used to like his films when I was younger, but now I have a hard time enjoying the stories. What hasn't changed from the past, however, is the beautiful animations. But the story just doesn't do it for me, and I honestly don't know why. I thought the reason might be because the films are a bit slower, but that should not be the reason as to why I have trouble liking the stories. Visuals are amazing, and when I watch it, that is what I'm gravitating towards too. But I know that I like films that love to take their time, that are much slower paced. My first video on this channel is about Heavenly Forest, not the fastest film in the world, but I think it has to do with the characters. I just don't connect with them. But I'm not even sure about that. Still, despite me not enjoying as much as I used to, I do think I have learned quite a bit. There are some great examples of show don't tell in his movies, and a lot of other films can take a good example out of that. My name is Legion Go, and this is Homeschooling Films. Want to see more? Go ahead and subscribe to my channel.